Well, it looks like Microsoft out there in Redmond, Washington, screwed it badly. In the announcement of Windows 11, Microsoft inadvertently triggered scalpers for TPM 2.0 chips. What the fuck were they thinking? And there you have the answer. They were not thinking, which is par for the course for Microsoft. And once again, let me shrink my happy ass appointment. I don't have myself, hold up. Here we go. I had the right box. Uh, it, it's it's advisable to have the right box clicked before you think you can start shrinking shit down. And no, I have the wrong box clicked. Try this again. Video capture device. Yeah. And here we go. Here we go. There I go, shrinking myself down, minimize OBS. And here we have, well, I've got my window, that's my Windows 8 tab, but let's look at Windows 11. Okay. Here is, this page has changed 17,000 ways from Sunday, since last Sunday. And that's a joke. Probably a shitty, sad joke, but a joke nonetheless. But anyway, this page has changed, and this is what's ridiculous. Now, everything on this page, you're probably thinking, man, our computer will work. Even my ancient old fossil I built 3 or 4 years ago, or maybe 6 years ago. Hot damn! Because after all, look what we got here. 1 gigahertz or faster, dual core, or 4 gig of RAM, 64 gig of storage space, 64 gigs of storage space. System firmware, UEFI and secure boot capable. Doesn't necessarily mean enable, just capable. And then you get down to here, compatible graphics card, DirectX 12, WDDM driver 2.0. Yeah. High definition, at least 720p or greater. And then you get here, trusted platform module TPM 2.0. But before we get to that cluster fuck up epic proportions, let's take a look at this compatible 64-bit processor list. Now, this has changed. Right here, 62421. It is the 27th. Yeah, it's changed quite a bit in the last 3 days. But here's what you get. If you scroll down here, supported AMD processors and Intel processors. See what we got here, because I already have these tabs open. Oh, I don't. Wait, what do we got here? Here's Intel. It starts off X6200FE, but as you scroll down, and scroll down, and scroll down, and scroll down, you start seeing a pattern. The numbers don't go lower than 8. That means, basically, you need an 8th gen Intel CPU, or, and we're going to kill this tab here and go to AMD processors. So you need an 8th gen Intel or Athlon, AMD Athlon 3015E or better. And when you get to the Ryzen section, Ryzen 3 3250, that top at 2600. Basically, man, they only included maybe 3 generations of CPU in their official support list. I mean, they really narrowed it down, shrunk it completely. It pretty much, Microsoft has isolated this operating system. It isolated so bad that pretty much I think they were developing Windows 11 with these processors and only these processors in mind, and they did it during a pandemic with massive shortages in parts. You gotta wonder, what the fuck were they thinking? But that's just the processor requirements. Let's go over here to Tom's Hardware. Aaron Klotz, 2 days ago, posted this article. Windows 11 causes TPM shortages, scalping. So now there's scalpers. And this little goddamn chip right here, that little thing right here, MSI, that plugs into that header, that's your TPM 2.0 chip. Last week, until time immemorial, that thing was only $20. Now it's on eBay for $100. All thanks to Microshaft, putting the stretch marks behind your fucking ears. Really fucking, really bust my ass. But right, here we go. Windows 11 is Microsoft's first operating system to require a TPM or Trusted Platform module, sending frantic would-be upgraders to online retailers in search of hardware modules. Demand has exploded overnight as users try to nab a TPM as quickly as possible to ensure their PC is compatible with the new operating system, but the market is rough. In some cases, TPMs that sold for $15 and $20 are now $100 and through eBay. And we've been through this before. You probably don't remember, but we've been through this before. Not too long ago. It was about maybe a decade ago when Microshaft said, "Yep, we're gonna announce our new operating system, and we're gonna force people to adopt Secure Boot and TPM." And at the time, it was TPM 1.2, and that operating system was none other than Windows 8. The minimum system requirements, this is from Wikipedia, by the way. Minimum system requirements for Windows 98 are slightly higher than those of Windows 7. CPU must support the PAE, NX-bit, and SSE2. Windows Store apps require a screen resolution of 1024 by 768 or higher. But here's the thing. You look at you're starting to see a trend. You're starting to see that goddamn pattern again. Minimum 1 gigahertz chip, okay? 1 gig of RAM, DirectX 9. That was for Windows 8. That was for Windows 8, but in the beginning, when Microsoft announced this operating system, they said right here that this part right here was not in the recommended box. It was a must, and they would not back down. UFI version 231 errata B with Microsoft Windows Certification Authority in its database, Trusted Platform module, and internet connectivity. And what happened? Why did it go from a requirement to recommended? Because they got their asses dragged by the corporate world, by the business world, by IT heads. And as a result, they backed the hell down. And then there were other things during Windows 98 that they tried to force on people, and they had to back down. Now, one of the things that really, I recall the biggest pushback regarding Windows 8 was from a open source file solution called Coreboot. They really hammered Windows 98 over, and a Linux community too. The Linux community became unglued over this. And, well, it looks like they're probably going to come unglued over this too. And here's another something here regarding Windows 8. And this is right here. Updated certification requirements were implemented to coincide with Windows 8.1, and as of 2014, all certified devices with integrated displays, which is laptops for those of you playing the home game, must contain a 720p webcam and higher quality speakers and microphones, while all certified devices that support Wi-Fi must support Bluetooth as well. Then this little sentence right here. As of 2015, all certified devices must contain TBM Module 2.0 chips. So eventually they did foist it on people, but only on new store-bought hardware. So what do you think is going to happen now and the fall when they release this thing out in the wild? Right now, they're going to have a leaked. They're going to not the leak, but they're going to have a little. Well, let me pull it up here. I recall them saying that they're going to have a open beta for a little while, just to give you a test, just to allow people to give it a test run. But the release to manufacturing will be in late July, I'm hearing, and then retail version should arrive November, December. But it's ridiculous. It's terrible. I mean, they really screwed it. This might be the version of Windows that does not have a mass optability, just like Windows 8. People avoided Windows 8 like the plague. Windows 7 was great, decent. Windows 8 sucked. Then Windows 10 took a while, but yeah, it's pretty decent. Get up there. Now we got Windows. It's like up and down. It's like an equalizer. Microsoft cannot, for the life of them, release two consistent, decent operating systems back to back. They always screw the pooch somehow. And they did it again. And the sad thing is that I think they only made migrating to Linux feasible, a lot more feasible now. Because, you know, my computer that I'm doing this video on, it is a Core i5 4670. I've had it for, well, I built it 4 years ago. And I've been trying to upgrade it for the last 2 years. And every time I turn around to do it, every time when I have the money to do it, something is out of stock. And I haven't been able to. So then I'd turn around and use that money for rent and utilities and other must-have items. Meanwhile, I'm letting this whole thing just collect dust. But I'm curious. Hold up a second. As you can see, I wasn't totally prepped for this. Let me see if I can bring up something on the fly here. I gotta move my mic just a bit. You're gonna hear some noise. Actually, let me move it over here because I gotta do some pounding on the keyboard. I'm trying to pull up the latest Steam hardware and software survey. And let me see what we got here in process. Okay, for more intel. More info. Let me read this real quick. Intel speeds. Well, they only show speeds, fortunately, so that's not going to be very useful. I was hoping to pull up the Steam survey that could tell us exactly which processors are being used and which aren't. I mean, where's the the sweet spot to a degree? Let's see. Yeah, they're only going by speeds. But ooh, I found that's interesting. I'm just looking this over. Video cards, NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1060. I'm using the same video card. It's because we can't, we literally cannot find, you can't. The shortages are killing us. It sucks. But anyway, yeah. I was gonna try to pull up a Steam. I was hoping to show pull up a Steam survey that'll show exactly the exact processors that are being used by the majority of people that are playing games on Steam. just to see if, just to show if there was a correlation to the stupidity of Windows 11's hardware requirements. Because um, even with this 4670 Core i5 that I've got, every game that I play on Steam right now plays great. I only have one little issue when it comes to gaming on this, and that was Yakuza 0 kind of hitched a little bit. And that's all. But I haven't bought any real new Steam games lately. I don't care about Cyberpunk and all these other games lately. But that doesn't that fact doesn't detract from the fact that there is a lot of scalability in hardware right now. And it is unfortunate that people with, fourth, I've got a fourth gen Intel, people with fifth, sixth, and seventh and Intel and AMD equivalent hardware are stuck with Windows 10. And it doesn't have to be this way. But that's Microshaft for you. Assholes. I hope they get raked over the coals of this. I hope I'm not the only son of a bitch that's ranting and raving. But anyway, leave your name in the comments. If you want to make any comment, go ahead and knock yourself out. I'm going to finish my goddamn beer and going to play some Trails of Cold Steel 4. Almost got that game beat.